Okay, so Podrick's expression in this shot here summarizes my feeling towards the episode very, very well, I think. For the most part, I think it's one of the least surprising episodes of Game of Thrones that we've had thus far. There was a lot of really good content, and yet at the same time, there were a lot of scenes that I felt were stretched out. The Bronn and Podrick scene I thought was pretty humorous, so I'll give that a pass because it was funny. Like, if nothing else, that was like super funny. You think they're fucking? I'd fuck her. And also, lesson number one: assume that everyone wants to hit you because they do. Pod, and I like Tyrion a lot, but I felt like that scene with him and Missandei and Grey Worm, the joke talk, I thought that went on for a little bit too long. Like it was okay. Like I really enjoyed Tyrion's joke. That was great. Because that's exactly how you would expect like a representative of each of those houses to react to a fly. But even then, like some of the scenes that were stretched out had actually really good content in them. Like when he says goodbye to Varys and Varys says that I think he's going. Where else would he be going other than Dorne? Because he said like we need friends in Westeros. So that was good setup, and I really appreciated the cinematography that they used for the invasion of Meereen, just to showcase the fleet of the Masters. But Dany showing up, I mean, that was super obvious. I mean, come on, that was pretty much spoiled in last week's preview. This episode has like a weird balance of stuff that's either funny, stretched out, really really nice character moments here and there, setup, and then stuff that looks visually appealing.
I don't think I've ever felt this way about an episode of Game of Thrones, where in which I'm okay with everything that happened. I'm not disappointed, far from that, because the tension in certain character moments, the tension was handled amazingly well. Especially like the Riverrun scene and the Arya scene by the end. Like by the end, I was like, there was a part of me that I was beginning to like fear that Arya was gonna die. I'm like, bitch, better not kill Arya. And had that happened, the entire internet would have gone crazy. I would have been mad as hell. You would have gotten a rant had that happened. So that was okay. Like, I like the outcome, but I guess I expected more as well. I'll give you an example, right? So, in Arya's final fight, like, this is her final test. A girl has passed the test. That was great, by the way. I love Jaqen's little smirk. Like, yeah, I was betting on you the entire time. No, but I thought that it was a missed opportunity that they didn't incorporate the ability of face changing for Arya. That ability did not come into play. Like, Arya never used it. She was basically just running around through the market, jumped on some oranges and shit, just, falling through some stairs. I did like, though, like, she was leading her into the place where she left Needle, which is a dark place, so that, she can fight in the dark. So the training, that's kind of like, ha ha, use what you know. And she just cuts that candle like a boss.
Darkness is your ally, but you merely adopted the dark. I was born in it, molded by it. I didn't see the light until
You get the idea. I'm really gonna miss Lady Crane though. She was incredibly hot, really nice person. That's the best combo. And also, a shout out to Tyrion where I think he was mentioning how after all this shit is done, like he wants to own a vineyard. I mean that was his dream, right? They kind of do the same thing with Arya here when she mentions that she wants to go west of Westeros. So that was kind of cool. Like those are pretty nice character moments. And so that ending there with Arya declaring who she is and just walking away. Well, first of all, I thought like wouldn't it be a good idea if she had taken a couple of faces with her? But secondly, like it really left me hopeful. Like I can just picture like that Sansa and Jon reunion that we had. It's gonna be like more emotional when we see like Jon and Arya and Jon and Bran and Arya and Sansa, all of them together. I can't wait for that to happen. I also can't wait for Arya to meet back with the Hound because they're the real dynamic duo, two old friends. And speaking of the Hound, he runs into the Brotherhood, the real Brotherhood, not the bullshit Brotherhood that goes around killing people. We get to see Thoros of Myr as well as Beric Dondarrion again. And they basically want to recruit the Hound. And I'm pretty sure that the higher purpose that they're talking about is definitely like the fight against the White Walkers, which, that's the main goal here. Shots fired at religion when the Hound says, and I'm paraphrasing here, that every horrible thing in history, every horrible, shitty thing that's happened has usually been done for the sake of something bigger than ourselves, or serving someone bigger than ourselves. I love that quote. And I also like the quote in the beginning. Just comedy gold with the Hound. You know what to expect. Fuck you, those are your last words. You're shit at dying, you know that? We know that Brienne and Podrick are going to where Sansa is, right? And, everything got kind of messed up ever since they, included that teletransportation device where everybody can show up like exactly where they want to be almost immediately. Like next episode, they're going to be exactly where they're supposed to be. So I'm wondering, do you think that the Brotherhood could be able to reach the North, like before the Battle of the Bastards?
The whole Riverrun scene, I thought, like in terms of from a dramatic aspect, that scene was great. Great acting. Brienne, like the drama between her conversations with Jamie and her conversation with the Blackfish, that was great. Jamie was great. The conversation between Jamie and Edmure, oh man, like just the reference to Kat, the parallels between Kat and Cersei as mothers that just would do anything for their child. The question that Edmure asks Jamie, like, how do you sleep with yourself? We all have to convince ourselves that we're decent to a certain extent. What do you tell yourself? Jamie's like, I don't give a shit. I just care about Cersei, right? And that's what Jamie has always known. That's Jamie's truth. And Cersei's truth is like, I will do anything for my children. So I like how he sets that up from a dialogue standpoint.
And I actually thought erroneously that by the end Jamie had outplayed everybody in that scene, because I thought that his thought process was the following. So Brienne couldn't convince the Blackfish, therefore he would send in Edmure as kind of like a sort of like a way of proving that his word means something to the Blackfish, and then the Blackfish could actually talk to Jamie and probably consider like Jamie letting him go to the north. But that never happened because the Blackfish died.
So dramatically, that was great, all right? But from a story progression standpoint, I was like, what was the point of the Blackfish? He died off screen. What happened there? Like Brienne basically goes there for not like she gets her little boat with Pod, and Jamie just says goodbye. So to me, like from a story standpoint, it's kind of what was the point of all that? All the entire Riverrun section of the season is kind of pointless unless.
Now, this is just a crazy idea that I came up with while I was watching the episode, because I truly do believe that, despite all the shock that the show throws at us, it's always for a purpose. Like yes, some deaths happen that we didn't really agree with or that we didn't want to happen, but the deaths always serve a purpose in terms of moving the story forward. And as of right now, I just can't explain or justify why the Blackfish was introduced just to die the way that he did. So hear me out, all right? By the end of this episode, we see Jamie looking at Brienne very longingly, like there's a sense of resentment or guilt or something. He looks really sad. He's not happy about this goodbye. So what if, and this is a huge what if, since we had the conversation about Sansa, and Jamie's character was discussed in this episode, not just in terms of what his plans are, where his alliance is, but also about how he thinks, the way he thinks, and the fact that he carries a burden about being the guy who pretty much stabbed the king in the back, right? What if Jaime actually comes to the decision of using the Tully army and the Lannister army to go north and help Sansa? I mean, just think about Jaime's position for a moment, okay? He can't go back to King's Landing because Tommen pretty much told him that he can't. He can't serve there anymore. Cersei pretty much told him to stay away and go get the castle because she has a trial by combat coming up, so she's good, even though she's actually fucked because that rule has changed now. Trial by combat is now forbidden. But in terms of Jaime, what other purpose can he actually serve for the plot aside from actually, backing up Brienne in that fight? I don't know. Is he just going to stay in that castle and that's going to be it for the season? Think about that. I don't know. That's just an idea. I think it would make a lot of sense, and it would serve to kind of redeem his character a little bit. I don't know. I just like that idea. Although for Cersei's sake, Qyburn did tell her that he had found something out, so maybe she can use that as leverage. And finally, next week is the dreaded and infamous episode 9, in which a lot of main characters have died in each of the episode 9s. Well, not all of them, not all seasons, but Ned died in one. Who else died? The Red Wedding was another. So who do you think is going to die? We saw the preview, and Jon, he looks really sad. He's talking to Melisandre. If you notice in this shot, Melisandre's next to a mirror, so I'm pretty sure that she's revealed her identity to him. And he basically tells her, if I die, don't bring me back. So who do you think is going to die next week? Please share your thoughts down below. I mean, obviously Ramsay's the safest bet here, and I don't think they're going to kill Jon twice.
That's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Like the review if you did. Game of Thrones season 6 is unfortunately about to end. There's only 2 episodes left. Next week is the eagerly awaited Battle of the Bastards. That's the name of the episode, and that's what's going to happen. It should be like, that's the only thing that we should see. So think about it as like, the battle between the wildlings and Castle Black in season 4. I think that's going to be the entirety of the episode. And then the finale is called Winds of Winter, which I'm pretty sure that's the episode when we're going to see the wall come down. I don't know. I just get that feel. Imagine that season finale. We see the wall finally just collapsing, and an army of White Walkers are just ready to, to come in and invade Westeros. I think that's the finale. And also I think that we may see Daenerys just flying across the Narrow Sea, beginning to fly across the Narrow Sea, make her way to Westeros. Thank you for watching. Bye.